Man, man, you guys got to clap for this guy, man. Oh, man, he deserves a standing ovation. I'm not just saying that. He definitely does. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of underestimated him, though. My fault? The joke's on me. So I was like standing there listening to him like, dang, this guy's good, man. So you guys can have a seat. But thank you so much, sir, man. I'm so blessed. We're all blessed. We're all blessed, sir. I'm not just trying to flatter you. If you know me, I don't flatter people. I'll tell you the way it is. So I really appreciate it, man. So the next, our next session will be with our beloved Ben and Stella. So I would like you to put your hand together as we invite Ben and Stella. We have a few sessions. We're going to be asking them questions about business. So while I'm asking them questions, I would like you to compile your questions as well, okay? Ben and Stella, please join me on stage. I'm going to be here. You guys can sit anywhere you want. Feel comfortable, please. Amen. I'm not going to be having a static if I sit here, right? All right. Okay, I'm going to sit here. So I hope you guys are having fun because you have to be proud of yourself right now. You're part of the 1% of people that showed up. There's a reason we have a 1%er in the world because majority of people don't show up. Majority of the battle is won when you show up. So we're going to be doing this and having fun. I'm going to be asking you guys tough questions about business. Don't worry. You guys have been there already. Some of us have not, so bear with me. All right. So first of all, let's go with you, Ben. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into business? And then we'll go to Stella.
Thank you very much. So I guess there was a miscommunication with the organizers. So I was thinking I'm just going to come here, talk to you guys about my journey and everything, but it seems it's taken a different dimension. So I already jotted some few points here. You know, I wanted to talk for like 10, 20 minutes, tell you about my story. But yeah, I'm still going to try and do it. So, all right. So what I planned initially was just to come here and tell you my story. Okay. Then from my story, probably you'll be able to pick one or two things from the story. Yeah. So briefly, I actually came into the U.S. 2009 to be precise, November 22nd. I think the flight was from Lagos, Nigeria to Frankfurt. And I landed in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so on my way home, that's my host. I was kind of saying, "Wow, this is a very beautiful." That was actually my first time of traveling out of Nigeria, 2009. And I was looking at all the wonderful things, the road, the highways, and everything. So there was one thing he told me, which I still hold up to today. And he told me that, hey, Ben, this is a land of opportunities, okay? But that the first obstacle you're going to encounter are your own people. I was kind of saying, wow, my own people. Yes. He said they would tell you that you cannot succeed in this country if you don't do a particular kind of job, He said they'll try to bring you down. They'll tell you all different things. But I want to tell you today that you can be anything you want to be in this country. That's what he told me, and I still remember that word. Amen. Up to today. Okay? So, fast forward from Atlanta, Georgia, we spent a month at his house. Then we moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, before I came to U.S., I was doing good in Nigeria. I would consider myself a just small, young millionaire. Yeah, I was having millions, having different business and investment. But I made some bad investments, which actually almost brought me down to my knees. But thank God my wife came in then, and we put heads together. And when I was coming to US, I think I came with $5,000 or $7,000. I have to sell I have borehole drilling. I drill in Nigeria. Then I sold it. In fact, it was on the last day of we coming to US that the buyer came in and, he paid the money and we came with $7,000. So I left Georgia, went to Ohio. On getting to Ohio, I was staying with one of my friend's wife, and she gave me one of her old, I think it's Chevy Malibu or something, That was the only car we had. So I started working. I came with Visa Lottery, so I have my green card and everything. So it was kind of rosy. So I'll try and summarize the story. It was a long story, but I just have to summarize it. Now, I was using the car, and then there was a time for me to actually get my own car. Okay? All the naira that I converted to dollar, everything, before you know anything, everything was gone. So, and we needed to buy a car. Me and my wife were working just like every other person. I was earning $8.50 per hour, But luckily, we got working at the same place with my wife. So we have our firstborn. So first time, she was still little, Eniola. So we happened to be working at the same place. And so what happened is that with one car that was borrowed, we have to go. I have to put Eniola in the back seat, take my wife to work. I will be with Eniola at home, always crying. I have to go back again, pick my wife. Once I'm picking her up, she goes into the car, I enter the house, continue with the job. So we're doing that, $8.50. But I started thinking, is this how my life is going to be in this country? That things have to change, I have to evolve, So I started looking at business opportunities. And the first place they took me to was a junkyard. So I wanted to buy a car for myself. But, I don't have all the money to buy those big cars. And they took me to a junkyard. So immediately we got to the junkyard, first time. And they told me that, hey, you can go inside, look for any car, look for any part, take it out, go to the front office and make payment. And I said, this country, you mean I can go in here, pick out any part of the car, go to the front, and make payment? They said, yes. So I went in, I saw a car, but I don't have enough money, So I said, okay, I'm going to come back. Now, Odeyemi was talking about interaction, meeting people, networking. I know a lot of people here would tell me that, hey, I don't want to go to Nigerian church. I don't want to interact myself with these things. They just want to be alone. But I'm telling you, that's where I actually made a lot of friends. That's where I got a lot of business ideas from. It was an eye-opener. Now, I don't have enough money, remember. So there was this thrift program they're doing in that church. If you know thrift, Ajo, in Igbo, is it Esusu? Or, yeah. Yeah, Esusu. Yeah, so they say, oh, hey, Ben, since you're just coming, what we're going to do is that we give you the first number so that you can use it to buy your car. Now, so I went back to the junkyard, I bought the car, and we fixed it. It was an accident car. We fixed it, and then we started driving the car, And the Isuzu has no interest, You just have to return it at the right time. Now, a few days later, okay, I took my wife to, I'm not sure if it's McDonald's or somewhere, and I entered that eatery. I placed an order. So I'm going somewhere with my story, okay? I placed an order. So I went back into the car, and when I opened it, they gave me a wrong item. I ordered for burger or something. I'm not used to their food yet then. So on getting to the car, we found out it was a wrong order they gave us. And I told my wife, why did they give us this? I'll go back. She said they may not take it. Okay, let me try. So I went back in, and I told them that, hey, you gave me a wrong order. And immediately they apologized, took it from me, threw it inside the trash, gave me another one, then they apologized. I got into the car. I said, did you know what happened? That these people are wasteful. In Nigeria, number one, you'll never get it back. As long as you took it out, that's the end. So, but this one, they apologized. They said, do I want to take it? I didn't even understand them quickly. So they just threw it in the trash, gave me another one. They apologized. I think they gave me a coupon for next this thing. And I went back into the car. I told my wife. She was surprised. And I said, come. I have to make it in this country. That I see a lot of waste here, and inside that waste, I see opportunities. That we're going to take advantage of that. Now, we started little by little. I was buying BlackBerry phones then. If you know about BlackBerry, I buy it, send it to Nigeria. So when I send it to Nigeria, I was receiving a lot of people are asking, hey, Ben, send us phone. So I couldn't even make, with the demand was very much. It was high. I can't make it. So sometimes I will have to, because there was any shipping company back in Cincinnati then. So I have to mail it down to New Jersey. So when I mailed it down to New Jersey, from New Jersey, they send it down to Nigeria. So the order was coming, but I couldn't make up with the demand. So I started thinking out of the box. So how come there's nobody doing it around this area? So sometimes I even go to the airport looking for a Nigeria traveling and say, hey, please, this is the phone. I can pay you. Can you help me deliver it at Nigeria? Sometimes I'm lucky. Sometimes I'm not lucky about it. So I now started thinking about, okay, here I think this is a major problem. How can I solve this issue? So what I did then was I now started making a research on, okay, how can I start this shipping business, air cargo? I made some research. I contacted somebody who is in Nigeria. Now remember what they told me when I was from airport, that, hey, Ben, the first obstacle will be your own people. So I asked the guy, hey, you're into this business. He was actually in Minnesota. And he said, hey, when did you come? I said, recently. He said, hey, you need to relax. Take time first, relax. Okay. I said, thank you. I don't take no for an answer. That's one thing with me. I give it all it takes. Then I went online. I started Googling. Okay, how can I start shipping? Through air cargo and other this thing. So I got all the information I needed, and then I applied for that license. So when I applied for the license, I was supposed to have an office, but there's no office. We're staying in a one-bedroom apartment. So I said, hey, we're just going to try it. I went to the bank, registered. The guy saw my zeal and said, hey, Ben, don't worry. I'll register you, sign everything. He did everything for me. Now it was time for the inspection. They were supposed to send someone from Washington, D.C., because this TSA is an indirect air carrier. You have to go through a lot of screening. So the guy came in that day, and, he was surprised apartment. He was expecting an office space. I believe the GPS took him to an apartment. He was looking. I was standing outside. I took our daughter. I gave it to the neighbor. I tell my wife, both of us, we're talking. We are ready, prepared for the inspector. So when he came in, he saw us, and unfortunately, our dining table, okay, we bought it on Craigslist. It was a glass dining table. When we were trying to bring it up that day, the glass broke. So, so there was no dining table. We just had a few chairs. So he came in. We greeted him. We started talking. And there was one thing, he forgot about what brought him there. And he said, hey, I just loved you couples. And here's what I'm going to do. I'll go back and write a very good report about you guys. And that's how a few days later the license came in. It was a TSA license. I was the first person that started the air cargo business in the whole of Ohio, Indianapolis, Kentucky, and I was doing good there. So from there, I proceeded. I was evolving. Okay, people are coming. I know a lot of people. Then I said, okay, this car business, remember, my story started from the junkyard. Okay? And I say, seems there are a lot of opportunities in this car business. We're buying cars. We buy it, fix it, sell it, make money. This is a good business. But I was still going back to the same junkyard to make those purchases. And I say, hey, I think I should be able to have my own license instead of going back there. Definitely those people are making money. So, yeah, so why can't I be something like them, have that license? So I registered for a dealership. So after registering for that dealership, it started little by little, and I'll just cut the story short. But in year 2002, I believe, 2002 to be precise, so for 9 years, now I want you to note this down, okay, so that for those that want to start business. So for 9 years, I was applying for a particular license. Every year I send in my application, they normally reject it. So that was IAA. So IAA is one of the biggest salvage auction in the whole of North America. You know, I was applying, I wanted to be a broker with them. You know, they said, no, before you can become a broker, you need to have an annual sales of, I think it was $5 million. I said, this car of 1,000 to 2,000, how can I make this thing? But for 9 years, believe me, every year, I either apply twice a year or 3 times a year. They turn it down. Sometimes they don't even answer me. Now, on the 9th year, I send in an application. So when I send in my application, you know, a few weeks later, I received an email, and they said they forwarded. Now, when I was sending that application, I put all my qualification, everything, my master's degree, and another thing there. I put out a very good write-up. So it said they forwarded that application to another team for review. So later on, they came back and they said the team wanted to meet me. First time, after 9 years. I said, oh, that's cool. So they came back and said, hey, what do I have to offer? And I started with my degree. See, I have all this degree. I can market. I can talk to people. I have all this thing. Hey, look at your profile. You don't have any Nigeria or Africa. And when I checked the record, I found out that Nigerians are one of I think they are third biggest customers in the world, okay, with importation. So they say, oh, that's good. So lo and behold, after a few weeks, they say, okay, they've decided to move ahead with me. And that's how I became a broker for IAA. Now, I can tell you that I was the only one of probably African descent that have that license in the whole of US. Now, it was just a broker, which means that before now, I will come and meet you and say, hey, I have a car dealership. Do you want to buy a car? I market myself. But when I got that broker license, no, we don't do any marketing. People reach out to us. We saw your profile on IAA. We have that visibility. Do you want to buy a car? We want to buy a car. We tell you, hey, this is how much we charge. We do everything. In the middle of that COVID, you know, so they now reach out to me and they said, wow, that you guys are doing great. You know, you just started, but we see that you're actually doing great. That the senior vice president wanted to meet me. I said, oh, really? Fine and good. Where are you? I say, I'm located in San Antonio, Texas. And they say, very good. I'm actually coming to Texas. And so what I'm going to do is that we can meet up at the airport. It was in the middle of that COVID, you know. So we met at the airport. We're sitting almost side to side, you know, with a little bit distance. So, and he said, we found out that you guys are doing great, that we wanted someone to represent us in Africa. Can you take on that? I say, of course. Even if it's, I said, even if it's in the world, I'm ready. Yeah, you can see so we started gisting and we forgot about what we came from. We were talking about family and all that thing, you know. He was excited about me. I said, hey, I had my master's here, you know, I have business back at home. You know, he was so proud of me and said, hey, Ben, don't worry. That's it. Just be ready. Can you open office in Nigeria? Of course. In fact, if you want 3, 4 offices, we can open it. Hey, we are not going to support. We don't give money. Don't worry. We are going to get it. How about Ghana? I said, of course, I can take on Ghana too. I have people in Ghana and other. So he wanted to give me about 4 or 5 different African countries. I said, no, let's limit it to Nigeria and Ghana. And a few weeks later on, they came back and I said, well, Ben, you are now our official partner in Ghana and Nigeria. Now, yes, so what they mean is that with that, we are the only one authorized to open IAA center in the whole of Nigeria and Ghana. So the visibility was there. We're making it. It was a big business. Our sales then, as of last year, our sales surpasses $10 million. You know, so we are doing good, really good. Remember I told you I started with air cargo. I have to leave air cargo. We thought, okay, hey, this stress is just too much, you know. So I think Stella is doing air cargo right now. So you know, we have to leave it. And now we have 7 full-time staff. Okay, in Nigeria, we're supporting, we are evolving every time. Now that's part of the entrepreneurial skills. You know, so I do a lot of things. Now, that's not the only thing I do. I have some IT company. We're trying to build apps. We're consulting. So aside from that, I have my master's in information security and assurance. While we are still earning $8.50, me and my wife has decided to upgrade our skills. She has a master's in project management. I went to information security and assurance. Over time, we got a job. My first job from $8.50, the first offer I got, that was 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, was $65 an hour or so. So I was doing that. You know, it was a big shift. But I can tell you up to that 10 years ago, from now to that 10 years, I still have some people still working at that same place. You know, and they've increased. Maybe they are getting $15 an hour. When I wanted to leave, they told me, "Where are you going?" You know, I say, "Hey, I have a better dream. I have a vision. I have other things I need to do." Now, what I'm trying to do is that because of time, okay, I'm going to cut in this. Because I have a lot of information I really want to pass out. There are a lot of things I believe everybody can do. A lot of skills, I've actually listed them out here that people can do. You know, I work a full-time job. I'm a security consultant. There are many other people I've actually helped. I just give them information. Sometimes people will come and tell me, "Hey, Ben, you're giving too much information." I say, "No, you cannot take my job. I'll give it to you. You can be whatever you need to do. I'll give you how to go about it. Do everything." I believe there was a time I told Pastor we wanted to start a skills this thing because Pastor was very passionate about upgrading skills and other things. So we actually started like a career, this thing, path and other thing. But I see a lot of people who are not too serious. I say, "Hey, I don't have that time. But if I can commit this time that, hey, you can be this," and people don't show interest, I say, "No problem." In Pastor's message recently, he talked about rooted. That, okay, people will come, you know, you hear different words. You know, it now depends on how you're able to take it or how you're able to apply it. But one thing I want to tell everybody in the US here, that you can be a professional and still have a side hustle and make it. There are a lot of information I have. There are a lot of things I do. There are a lot of risk. So I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy, okay? But you need to start somewhere if you really want to make it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Amen. So I'm going to say something I'll summarize from what you said. One is relationship and perseverance, because over time, everything you said is great, by the way, but you guys understand that if you're building a business, you know, things don't always kick off right away. So you have to persevere. But in persevering, you have to network like Pastor, I don't know if I'm calling you pastor. Are you a pastor? Coach Odeyemi said to network. So I'm going to go to, because we're running out of time, I'm going to go to Stella. Stella, please tell us how you got into business, and let's ask questions, okay? I had a few questions, but I want you guys to ask the questions now.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, church. So I'm actually grateful to be sitting here today. So I'll make my short, okay? I came into the U.S. as a student. Back home in Nigeria, I own an interior decoration business. That's what I do. Like I sell curtains, I fix blinds. I do a lot of interior designs, most especially beddings. That's what I specialized in. So when I came to the U.S., I was a student, so I just dished all that business ideas away. And before I finished school, I met my husband, and then we got married, and then the kids start coming, and I'm like, and I said to myself, and I'm like, why do I just throw away my business? Let me look for something else to do. And then before then, I used to have problem with shipping stuff because we were all the way in Midland, Texas. So that place is like very remote. So it was so difficult to ship down any items. You need to either go to Houston or you go to Dallas to ship out items. And then I just thought to myself, why don't I start it up by myself? So I started doing inquiries. So I haven't gotten my my papers in this country. So I went to DHL. I booked an appointment with them. And then I spoke to them, and they said, oh, man, you need to have so volume to be able to be our partner. Okay, I switched to UPS. I spoke with them. They also gave me their list. You have to bring this, you have to bring that to do all this. And then I went back home. I like, no, let me go back to Nigeria. And then I, try to partner with, I have a friend that's into dispatch business. So I said, okay, fine. If I get clients that wants to ship stuff, can you go pick it up from wherever it is? And then I'll use your office as my office in Nigeria. And so he was like, oh, cool, that's a good business. At least I'm bringing you business too. And you're also helping me in the same way. So it was very easy to get the DHL license from Nigeria and the UPS license. So it was so easy. So we partnered together, and then I got the DHL license from Nigeria. So I ship items from Nigeria down here. But shipping back from here back to Nigeria is a little bit like pricey, but I get to make it like a little quantity. Just like if you want to ship documents, those ones are easy for me to just create the label in my room and just send it to you. You print it out and take it to the office and just drop it off. So that was how I started that one. So after a while, when we moved down to San Antonio, I came to church. I met some few people. I told them, and they were like, oh, okay. And I have gotten some customers from church as well. So thank you, Salvation Standard. So, and then I was like, sometimes I don't have clients. I said, why can't I do something else? And then I shifted. I said, okay, what can I sell? I prayed to God about it. I'm like, what can I sell? I don't want to sell just to service Nigerian people. I want to sell something that every person can buy. So I looked at it. Oh, so my daughter and my son, anytime we go to the hospital, oh, their lashes is so long. Where did you get that from? This one, I'm like, so I said, okay, why don't I even start selling lashes sets? And that was how the idea came up. And I said, okay, let me go into petty trading. That I don't care, I don't mind. Over time, the brand will grow. So I did my survey. I went to the stores. I went to H-E-B. I went to Walmart. I checked out their prices. And then I started, looking for vendors. So Walmart and other stores sells all those little items for like $5, $6. I said, okay, I'll make my $3 so that I can just get turnover. I was not doing it because I said over time, I knew I was going to get a lot of customers. So then it's time to get a vendor. So I started looking for vendor. I reached out to people. Funny enough, I have a friend in China, and then she went straight to the manufacturer and got their number for me. And I get those lashes for as cheap as cents. No, so I got it at a very good price, and I was able to sell below the store price. Why? Because I wanted to reach out to a lot of people. And now I have so many people going through my website to buy cosmetics. So I also shifted, okay, so lashes goes with lip gloss, it goes with other kind of stuff, accessories. So I try to, venture around the whole beauty product. So that's how I started. And also, I also work because you still need to feed the business. It doesn't just grow like that. So I still work. I work as a technical support team with a diabetes company. We create insulin pumps for diabetic patients. So the shipping and the cosmetic is my side hustle. And I'm also very handy. So if you need help, like I also help people to put their blinds up, put curtains up. So I do that part-time. Or I do that.
Amen. So I was going to say something about the pricing, right? There's this book I'm reading that's called You Need More Money by Matt Monero. And he's into financing for equipment, like if you're trying to buy an equipment for your business, heavy equipment, he's into financing. So one of the things he said was, it's not about, thank you, sir. It's not about if someone is trying to steal your business. You can tell them the whole secret. Go and do it. because there are more to the business than just, knowing about the pricing. There's marketing, there's IT, there's business operation, So if someone wants to go and buy the thing, go and buy it and market yourselves. It doesn't really matter. But thank you so much for what you shared. And now we want to open it to the floor if you guys have questions. Pastor, go ahead.
Okay, mine is not a question.
Yes.
A comment. And I'm going to direct this to the organizers. We do this all the time. Oh, we're running out of time. Oh, time. It's working now. Okay. Thank you. Can we have agreement that whatever we're going to do today, we will maximize the time together? The gentlemen here, they came from Nigeria to be a blessing to us. They came for a conference, and thanks to Wale told us about them, and we said they should come. It's pointless. Every time we gather, we rush over things. And then the next time we come, we rush over it again, and nothing is benefited. The one thing I hate in my life is wasting my time. If I'm here, I want to learn. Anybody that's in a hurry, no judgment. Nobody is judging anybody here. It's safe space. If you have to go, go. Right? You have things pre-planned based on schedule and things like that. But Ben is here, Stella is here. They all want to share knowledge with us. I want to learn as much as I can. So for anybody that is in a hurry, that's okay. You can go. Anybody that is willing to learn and stay, if we have agreement, we can say that's the agreement. You don't know how many times we shifted. Do you go by Odeyemi or Yemi? It has to be Odeyemi. We kept shifting his time. I spoke to Pastor Ebukun. We shifted, and then he shifted again. And that's okay. Because we're here to learn, not to gloss through things, and we don't have details. That's just my 2 cents.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. That's true, though. Go ahead. You have a question? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Ben and, Sister Stella. Thank you. I do have a question when it comes to business. I know, Brother Ben, you gave us a story of how you started and how successful you are now. I always tell you, you're my role model. So I make drinks. I started off as doing hair and everything, but it's so saturated. Everybody's doing it. So, the ideas of making these cocktails it didn't come to my head, but that was just a knowledge from God. It's in my head. But now I have this dream where I want to, get that idea out of my head and actually put it on paper, where I have my drinks being sold in Walmart, Target, all these stores, and, hopefully get into international shipping where they're also sold in Africa. So I started the process, but I just want to know how I can get the ball rolling and how I can get fundings. And I know there are going to be challenges, but what are some of the challenges I'm going to face along the road? And, if you can lead me in the right direction.
Can I go ahead? Okay. So thanks, Daniela. So what I normally tell people, and I'll tell you the truth, okay, is that there's a difference between side hustle and business. Okay, so I don't know which one you want to go into. Is it just going to be like a side hustle, or you want to go into it as a full-time business? Okay, if it's business. Now, one thing I also ask people, and I'm going to ask you this. If you lose 1,000 or if you lose money, are you going to die? Will you have sleepless nights? Okay, yeah, so now the reason why I ask that question is that, you see, sometimes business is risk, okay? So not all businesses are successful. That's the truth, okay? So if I tell you right now, say, hey, do this, you'll be successful in the next few months. So that's complete lie. Now, but there's what we call minimal risk, okay? And there's all called home working, research, and other things. Now, the first thing you need to do, first, Is your business or your product, is it unique? Okay. If it's unique, then you have an advantage. If it's not, then you have competition. Okay. So now, I remember back in my university days, so my first degree was in biochemistry. Okay. So and my HOD normally tell us that, hey, the reason why you're coming to school is not because of that degree, but that if you find yourself among market women, so for those in Nigeria, they know what they mean by market women, and you're selling tomatoes, okay, that the way you're going to lay yours, okay, or display yours will be different than every other person. So that's the advantage of the education you have. So now, to start, I will tell you that start little by little. Don't go for loan first, okay? Finance it yourself. So, and that's the essence why I tell people, hey, if you're going for business, don't quit your job. No, because sometimes, see, a lot of time people ask me, hey, Ben, why are you still working? And believe me, if I quit my job or if I get fired today, honestly, I will sleep, in fact, sound sleep. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. Yeah, I'll have a sound sleep. I'm not going to worry about it because there are some few things I've already put in place. So start with your own personal fund. Start it as a side hustle, okay? Once you start it as a side hustle, market it very well. See the acceptability. Now be open for criticism. People will criticize it. Yeah. Ask people, what do they feel about this group? Look for samples around. Compare it to yours. How is the packaging? You need to package your own in a separate way. Remember what I told you about the tomato display and the market woman? Yeah. Repackage your own branding. So that's what we call branding. Sometimes you don't need a website before you start a business. You don't need this. Little fund, little capital, start it. Look at the sources. Reach out to people. Let them compare it with others. But make sure you do your homework very well. Research is very important. But you can start it. In fact, with $100, you can start a business. And with that, little by little, you begin to grow. You begin to evolve. You begin to put your knowledge into it. And I'm telling you.
So the research you're saying is for her to have other people experience the product.
That's correct.
And then give her feedback.
A feedback, negative or positive feedback. I'll take it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yes, please.
It's kind of funny that you brought up that you have the degrees. So I graduated with a biology and a psychology degree about a year ago. With med school on the horizon, I want to start a business, but I know that it's not something that I can do for a long term before, like during school as well, But I guess my question is, does it actually make sense to start a business? Mind you, I already kind of have one, but I don't know if it's something that I should really pursue. Because then if it becomes something that I really, really want to do, I would have to cut it short when I do start school, if that makes sense.
Is the question to Stella
Either
or Ben? Stella,
Okay,
you can answer.
let me go first. Okay, so I don't think you should stop. I don't think you should stop because of school. You can stop and start again. Yeah, I stopped for a while, and then I came back. You can take breaks. It's allowed. Take breaks and still work on finding your niche. Like, okay, you don't know if this is what you want, but just do it anyways. And then switch. Okay, if you're selling water, oh, this water is not moving, let me sell juice. You can move. You can move around. Just move around and just find where you can until you're comfortable. And why I say don't stop is because over time, it's growing. Like, I started my lashes business since 2018. It's still there. It's still there, even if I don't put as much pressure in it, like marketing and content and all of that. But it's not going anywhere. It's there. I pay for my website every year. I don't care if anybody go through the website or buys it. I join pop-up still here and there. I go out. So don't stop. It's okay to take a break but you can come back, or you can take a break and you can say, oh, I want to go into something else, and then you can switch. The world is too big. You can switch to anything that you want to be, but don't just leave it because of school. Somebody is always looking at that thing that you're selling. So just keep it there. You don't know, over time, it will get to that point when you don't even have to work. Thank you.
You want to add anything, or you're good?
Yes, I can add just but just in addendum to what Stella said, don't stop. Honestly, I have a lot of medical professionals that want to start business now, okay? In fact, sometimes I ask them, hey, you're making money, why do you want to start? And sometimes they tell you that I don't really enjoy the job, what I'm doing. Yeah, so, but if you start it right now, even when you get into your medical school or medical field, later on you can come back to it. Yes. Believe me, there is nothing wrong in making residual income, okay? When I was starting my business, most of the time, those little money I make actually pay for most of the bills. Okay, so which means I don't have to touch my salary and some other things. So if you have that dream, just go ahead and start it right now.
Start now. Perfect. All right, we have another question. Go ahead.
Okay, so
go ahead.
how much time do you consider, because I own a business of my own too, and I'm currently in nursing school. It's challenging, I'm not going to lie, but how much time do you think is considered side hustle?
That's a good question, actually.
Because I'm also thinking of expanding, but with the time I have on my hand right now, I'm thinking, is now a good time, or just wait to get done with nursing school, then continue, for the expansion?
Anyone can answer. Go ahead.
So, like I mentioned the other time, now is the good time, okay? So don't make it another time. Now is the good time. Now, when I was doing my master's, okay, so, and I consider most of the time, well, I'm not going to say you young folks, I'm not old too, so, but, I came in at the age, I think I came in 31 or 32 into this country. We had a baby. First time, I've never taken care of any baby before, We have to change diapers, do a lot of things. At the same time I was doing my master's. My wife also was in school. So, taking care of, and we are working too. So we just have to juggle a lot of things, So, but now, I don't know if you're married or not, or you have babies that you're taking care of, little ones, so it can be challenging. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, you thank God for that, for starting. So if you need to expand it, expand it. Sometimes you can get someone that will manage the business while you're still writing your exam or in the nursing school.
So are you saying that what she's saying is, how much time does she invest in her business to say it's a side hustle? Is that the question?
Okay, so
partially.
Okay.
Okay.
So for the time investing in the side hustle, so I would say probably 20% of your time, or 30, conservatively.
And then she's also asking if you want her to wait. Are you advising her to wait till she finishes nursing, right?
I told her
and then, no. Okay.
Start now. Put everything in place. Set it up in place. Put it in place. Then later on, you can come back to it. So.
Yeah, Stella, you want to add?
Yeah, I have a little thing to say. So, do you have kids? Okay, not yet. Okay. So, like he said, the best time is now, but you can try not to overstretch and stretch yourself. Like, when it's schoolwork time, it's schoolwork time. When it's time for business, it's time for business. Like me, with 3 kids. Oh my God, I don't even want to go into that part yet, but I just try to give myself 2 hours every day, Monday through Friday, after I put them to bed. So I give myself 2 hours, then I go to bed. So basically what I do, just go to the website, fix up the order, make the appointment for UPS to come pick it up at my door. So I do that every 2 hours, Monday through Friday. And Saturday and Sunday is for family. So just work with your schedule, look at your schedule, and work with what is good, comfortable with you, but don't stop. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, Pastor, go ahead.
I just want to add to that. I remember what Odeyemi said earlier about start your stop to-do list. I mean, stop things you're going to stop doing. Because the truth is, we all have 24 hours. Ben and his wife, they were able to accomplish all they accomplished. Being married, working a job, having a child, going to school, all of that within 24 hours. I think a lot of times the start point for all of us is to, first of all, sit back. Maybe you do this over a period of a week or two. See what you spend your time on and begin to reprioritize the order of your time. You know, people that have been successful, I mean, they have we all have 24 hours.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. We all have 24 hours. You know, so you have to reprioritize. Some things need to go to the bottom of your list. Some things you think are very important and significant has to drop to the bottom of your list. I'll give you a quick story. I think it was yesterday. Yesterday, somebody had reached out to me during the week saying, you know, something about a job and they needed some kind of coaching and things. I said, okay, come. My lunchtime is 12 to 1. So he came, and the question he had, I had an answer, you know, but I wanted to be sure. You know, so we started doing research together. And as we were doing the research, I saw some free courses on the question he asked. Believe me, yesterday I took 2 courses on application modernization. You know, one was 1 hour, the other was like 15 minutes. You know, I added to my knowledge just like that. You know, so number one thing you must do, remove waste from your life. Waste.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. CJ, go ahead.
All right. Before I get to my own question, I think I have a few things. A couple of the questions has been when I think the most mistake we do is waiting for the right time, thinking there will be a right time. Actually, you know, when starting up a business, there will never be a right time. You know, if you want to do it, the earlier you start it, trust me when I said it's better, because the earlier you start it, the risk is minimum. All right, when you don't have that much responsibilities, you can afford to take more risk. And asking if it's a side hustle or how to differentiate whether it's a side hustle or the real thing, trust me, when your bills come, you will know. You know, if you don't have that regular job that, you know that you go to Monday through Friday and you can't afford to miss time because you have to get that paycheck at the end of the month to be able to meet up with your payments. If that's taken away from you and the hustle that you have, there's going to be a difference. All right? You having something that you can add income to what your income is different when the real income is taken away. Because when they take away that real income, your side hustle becomes the real thing. Yeah. So you can afford to do the both when you don't have much risk, but if you keep on procrastinating it and pushing it to the side till when you start having kids, you have a family, and let's say something happens and that job is taken away from you, now you will be forced to take more risk in the business when you haven't learned a lot about the business. Because you have to learn about the business before you can take much risk on it. So that's just to put some on that. But my own question now is, I know I've been in business for a little bit, and it used to be a side hustle, but now it's the real thing. And because I didn't really put as much time as I should before I made my business a full-time source of income, of course, I've made some mistakes. And the one thing that people didn't really get to tell me much about is importance of cash flow. Some of us who are in the business will understand what I say, importance of cash flow, because you can have as much as $1 million invested in your business and you look and you can see your investments. But if you don't really have a cash flow to run that business day to day, this money is worth nothing.
It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep.
It's not even how much you keep, how much can keep the business running day to day, you know? Like if you have, let's say in the car business, Ben can understand what I'm saying. If you have 20 cars, inventory that is worth 200,000 or 300,000, all right? But you don't have 1,000 in your account to fix one of them. you are broke. I'm sorry to say that, but you are broke. And we don't really get to learn this until you go through the process. You know, sometimes you go to all these seminars and people tell you about their experiences and all this, but the best experience they say is you, you know, when you go through it. So my question is, how have you guys been able to manage your cash flow? Because honestly, to me, that has been the biggest challenge I have, all right? Because my own kind of person, if I have money in the account, I hate having money in the account and I can see where I can put that money into and probably flip it in the next couple of days. You know, that's the kind of person I am.
So he wants to know how you can manage your cash flow while you're operating a business full time.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
You know, if you can answer.
Okay. Should I go ahead?
And then we'll round up.
Thanks, Chijioke. I understand where you're coming from, okay? Because I've also been in that same shoe before, okay? So at the beginning, it's always difficult, okay? And it's difficult because there was no proper planning, okay? So, but of that cash inflow, you know, both the expenditure and the income, and, you know, your profit margin. So I had that problem, but over time, I was able to overcome that. Now, here's what I did. There are a lot of software out there, financial software, which can manage your inflow and outflow. Now, for the car business you're talking about in particular, so what I do is this. Before I make any purchase, you know, I already itemize everything. Okay, if I buy this car for $5,000, I fix it for $2,000, you know, every other thing. So I just put like a margin that everything that come to it maybe is $10,000. And I sell the car for, let's say, $15,000. I make a profit of $5,000. You know, am I going to put in back everything into the business or not? Or I'll have some savings. So now a typical businessman, okay, don't keep money in the bank, okay? Yeah, so you don't keep money in the bank. It doesn't make sense keeping money in the bank. Sometimes you can meet me, so that's where I'm going to divert a little bit from yours. Keeping money in the bank, sitting down, doing what? It's not good for a business person, you know? So most time I put it back. So sometimes you can come and ask me, hey, Ben, do you have $500? And I say, no, I don't have. And truly, I don't. But I have a lot of thousands of dollars outside playing, you know, bringing in because I'm expecting something in return. You understand? So now, get a very good software or business. Have your inventory. Okay, know how much you're making, know the profits, know the return. So that is the best way you can actually manage your cash flow. Okay, so now some people prefer to have some saved for raining days. You know, just keep it as a profit. But me, I prefer to reinvest it back into the business. So if it's a side hustle, you know, you want to keep some by the side. You know, but if you're real into proper business, you just want to throw them around, and not into. So that's where you now begin to divert a little bit. When the money starts flowing in, what me and my wife do, we are very handy. Okay, if you come to my house, if you see the way we change everything, we did it. So pastor have come to my house and you see, and they say, Ben, you made this? Yeah, we made it. You know, we save a lot. So what we try to do is this: we started reinvesting into other things. We have properties in Nigeria. You know, we have land, we have houses, we have a lot of things. When I wanted to start that, so maybe let me not go into that. Let me allow. Okay. Yes.
You also have a job.
So, Pastor, I have a full-time job. My wife has a full-time job, which is very important. And what I tell people is this: I'm afraid of America's system, and let me tell you the reason why I'm always scared. No matter how long you've been with them, if they will fire you most time, in fact, they will not allow you to come into the office the next day. Yeah. Forget, there's nothing like job security in America. It's what you know, the skills you have, like Mr. Odeyemi said. It's actually what's going to give you that security. Yeah. Okay? You can get to the office. Most time, you can get to the office. I don't care that you're a doctor, a lawyer, or anything. And they'll tell you that, hey, we don't want you again. Yeah. Now, that's where that thinking, you now start having that depression. How am I going to start? I tell people this: you need to identify what is your assets and liabilities, okay? Assets is something that brings you income, you know? future is guaranteed. You have it somewhere, it's going to bring you money and other things. If you start buying new cars, so I'm not saying new cars are good. In fact, I love new cars. I enjoy them. It's like taking new wife, you know. That's how new cars are. Yeah, believe me. So that's how it is. So, you know. So, but if I spend $100,000 on new car, I didn't buy it cash. I'm paying car notes every month. You know, I see it as liability. Okay, you have mortgage. It's not your house. Don't forget, it's not your house. If you think it's your house, you're deceiving yourself. When we sold, I was back in Ohio. Okay, we have a very big house, golf community, very lovely. Okay, so we now wanted to move down to San Antonio. So we are planning to sell it. So that was when the reality sale comes in. You know, I found that I've been paying for like 4 or 5 years. Okay, so when they now calculated everything, I found out that I was paying almost 1,800 or 2,000. I forgot the amount. But when we now went, they brought the book, and I found out that, you see, all this month I was paying 2,000. The only thing I was actually paying, which is my own, is like $400 and something. Right. Okay? So a lot of people don't understand that. So I'm not saying house is not good. House is beautiful, it's fine. So, but have other things that will be bringing you money, residual income. Instead of buying that new car, sometimes you may opt for, see, I've never bought a new car in the US, in America. No new car. It's not as if I can't buy new car. I can buy new car. But what I do is this. Probably I want you guys to learn one thing or the other from this. So there's a 2017 Nissan Murano that my wife is driving. So she has asked me for another car since. But, you know, we bought it in 2017, the same year of manufacture. It has 500 or 600 miles. It was a salvage car. We fixed it. Everybody looks at it as if it's a new car. But I know how much I saved. Instead of buying it for $40-something thousand, the total amount we spent on that car was like $15,000. And I drive it. Fine, good. 2017 is still there. We actually put like 40-something thousand miles on it. I saved. I was not paying any this thing. Nobody will come. If I can't pay or lose my job, nobody will come and tow it. You understand? So nobody will come and tow the car. Now there's another car I got, okay? It was a 2016 Malibu, okay? So when I was buying the car, now I'm telling you the secret of the trade, because there are a lot of opportunities there. I bought 3 of those cars that year, 2016. It was a 2016 car. I bought 3 of the car. I used one. Remember I told you salvage, okay? I used one of the car to fix 2. Okay, which means there was a flawed car here in Houston. I bought it. I used it to fix 2 of those cars.
Now, you dismantled one of them and got the parts. I dismantled one to
fix the other 2. So all of them, remember, they are all salvage.
Okay.
I sold one. Immediately, I made my money back. The other one was my profit. It's a 2016 Malibu. It was my profit. Now, that same 2016 car, recently I sent it to Ohio. After 6 years now. Is it 6 years? This
7 years.
7 years. And I bought it. So that was my profit, remember, as at that time.
Right.
I sent it recently to Ohio to be sold. They are going to sell it for like maybe $10,000 or $12,000. So which I'm going to make money again. Now, if you buy a new car, immediately you're driving it out of the dealership, the value reduces. Forget about it. If you buy a salvage car, the value doesn't reduce. Why? Because it's already devalued.
Right.
Okay? Right. So, which means, it's already devalued. So when you're selling it, they know that it's a salvage. You're selling it almost at the same price you use it. So there are a lot of tricks, a lot of tips and other things.
Right.
I know I've diverted a little bit from its cash flow, but, you know, just informational distance.
Thank you so much, sir. So we have 2 more questions. We have more questions later, so if you have more questions later, we'll still ask. So go ahead.
Oh, my question is for Stella. You mentioned that you had a friend in China, and that was how you were able to get in contact with a manufacturer. So how can you find vendors?
Okay.
For what business? Any business? Any business. Oof, that's a broad question, but go ahead.
Okay, I think we'll discuss that one maybe after I'm here. Yes, I'll show you how to find vendors. I think we'll talk about that after.
Okay.
After this.
Straight to the.
You show
Oh,
us.
everybody wants to know. Okay, give your own example though, with your own business. How do you find a vendor?
It's because I have an agent there that goes around to find vendors for me. So that's why I say maybe after church. But you can also, there are other apps you can use to find vendors. You can use Alibaba, you can use AliExpress. There are other apps that you can use to find vendors. But my own, how I found my own agent, I have somebody over there that helps me with that.
We're going to say something though. Business is funny. We always want the theoretical aspect of it, but most people are not doing it. So you guys can ask about it, but you have to do it and learn some things that cannot be taught when they say it, you know? So go ahead in the marketplace and start doing something. One more question and we'll round it off. Go ahead, Ma.
Thank you, everyone. My question is just like, I need an advice. I want to know if this online business and digital marketing online is a good business to invest in, because I see a lot of people telling me, oh, come and join us. We are doing this. We want you to start networking people and bringing people. Those kind of, do I know?
MLM type of thing?
Yeah, they want you to network or start bringing more people to their digital business online. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah, we understand. Go ahead, please.
So I need to be clear on that. There are different digital marketing. So there's this multi-level marketing. So there's this other one, pyramid. Is that pyramid? Yeah. So I want to know, is it the one that will ask you, you have to bring two people?
Yeah, they'll say, yeah, do you need people to bring someone like that to join your, something like that?
So, and then they will promise you high return, right?
Oh, yeah, something like that.
So so now let me bust your bubble. Anything you see a high return on investment, there's always high risk there. Yes. Okay? So most time I don't advise people.
No, the recent one they are doing right now, the people tell me they'll tell you, join us for maybe it's a seminar. They are doing seminar. Join us. We want to. I don't understand this kind of things.
So now this is a personal opinion, okay? You know, I don't. Maybe somebody have a different opinion about it. So I know I've never joined them. I take my time to study a lot of things. Now the people calling you to once they tell you that join us, but you must bring two people, okay? Now honestly, run from it. Yeah, that's just the simple thing. So they are trying to build their own level.
Yep.
Okay. So, which means that you're pushing someone to the chain this thing. So it's like a pyramid, you know, from two. So it's come from top down. So which means that before you get to that level, that top level, you must have worked everything out or work your. I don't know what to use. Yeah, work everything off. So please, if you can, do away with it. There are a lot of business online that you can do. So like I told you, I've actually written a lot of things. So because I asked the organizer what exactly are people expecting, and they told me they want the practical aspect of it. So I've written a lot of things. I have a lot of sites. I have a lot of information I can share, whereby if you go online, you get there are a lot of business you can do, believe me, which is not high risk.
Amen. So you have to meet him later, and he will guide you in that.
So now, full disclosure, okay? So I'm a very busy person, okay? So now I don't want a situation whereby I will try my best. So I don't want a situation whereby you're dependent. You call me and I don't pick up. You know, I have a lot of things I'm managing. So just for you to know,
just be respectful of the time.
Yeah, but definitely I'll get back to you. So it's better I say it right now.
Thank you, sir. Stella, do you want to add to that?
Same here.
Awesome. Okay. We have one more question from Miss Yinka. Okay. Go ahead, Miss Yinka.
All right. Good morning. No, afternoon. It's still morning. Okay, so here's my question. I know most times we talk about business, starting business, side hustles and everything. But what about the legality of it? Like, so it's not just about, you know, registering a business and doing it. I know there are some governmental guidelines that we have to follow. For instance, the medical line. So I'm actually working on starting our telehealth business and everything, but there are things that the government already laid out that we have to have, like risk management, and have this protocol and have that protocol. So my question to you is, how did you find somebody to help you, like a lawyer, in a way?
Thank you. So now when it comes to the business risk or the licenses that you need before you can start. Now, the US is so organized that even if you want to start barbing business, you need a license. You need to be trained. So what I advise people is that, see, Google is your friend. Go online, and now in this day of AI, honestly, just go, type it, and it will bring out everything you need. So see, there's no magic to that, okay? Go online, hey, I need to start this business. What are the things I need? Give me. So now that's where AI now comes in, for those into the IT. So there's a way you can ask AI, and it's going to list all the steps for you. Sometimes you don't need a lawyer. Okay, so most of my businesses that I started, I never used any lawyer, and that's the truth. Okay, so what I did, like so I have Federal Maritime Commission license, and I have TSA license, so I'm an indirect air carrier, which means I can ship with any airline I want. Despite I'm not using them, I still maintain that license. I pay for it every year, I renew it every year. Now, TSA is one of the most difficult licenses to get because their requirement is very much. They know you're shipping with passenger airline. They don't want anything bomb, another thing there. So they scrutinize. They come and check where do you keep all these things. You know, a lot of, we call it visual inspection to see maybe there's no any incident, bomb or anything there. So what I did is that I went online myself. Remember I told you I asked someone, I was asking me when did I come into this country that I want to start. You know, but the story I didn't tell you about that guy is that later on, after several years, he came back and was shipping with me. Okay, yes, and that's the truth. You know, so all you need to do, go back, check everything, there are rules, there are guidelines, just make sure you follow it to the letter, and you will not have any issue.
And are you talking also in relation to what you're saying? Ms. Yinka, are you talking about like the setup of the business, like the corporation, LLC, kind of stuff?
Just I guess for mine.
For yours, yes, go ahead.
Like a healthcare in a way. So you have to have some, like a document from a lawyer, prepared by a lawyer, signed by you, because you have to have like a medical director over your business and things like that. That was what I was.
Okay.
Say something.
What I would say is it depends on industry.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. You know, there are compliance requirements for different industries. And then for certain industries, the regulations vary. You know, and you might get into some really technical stuff, right? So it depends on the industry is where I would like for us to leave it. You know, if your industry is highly regulated and requires those kind of things, you know, compliance, risk management, technical requirements, you know, you have to figure out what do you do from that point forward. You know, I don't want us to get into specifics. You know, that's a disclaimer right there. You know, before somebody say, well, they told us in church. No, it depends on your industry. And you have to check out what the requirements are for that industry. You know, and why am I short of words to do?
Let me quickly add to that. Yinka, you can meet me at the end of this thing. I have people in the industry that I can call. They are very good friends, and they will walk you into that industry. They will walk you into it. Now, for real estate too, if there's anybody that is planning to go into real estate, okay, I have somebody too in the industry that can help. This guy currently is a very good friend. He has more than 100 apartments right now, as we're saying.
So like real estate investing?
Yeah, so some people may want to go into, so it's part of real estate, side hustle or business, so whichever one.
Okay. You want to say something, Neela? Okay, so yeah, we're done for this session. We're going to have a short break, but I would like you guys to put your hands together for Ben and Stella. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Stella. So we'll have Nanela take over.